Okay, recording is in progress officially. So thanks for all who have joined, and we might have some latecomers as they come in. I'm excited to have you guys here today to talk a little bit about the Winter Release 2023. It's obviously been out for a little bit, but I sat in this webinar actually a couple of weeks ago with Amy, who's on the call today. And as she was going through kind of just for all financial services in general, I kept thinking of the particular use cases for some of the items that she went through and thought, oh, these would be great for insurance. You know, I could totally see a broker using this, or I could totally see the claims department using this XYZ component or piece. And then also the differences between some of the items that have been created for FSC proper versus some of the people who've maybe been on SFI or the old Velocity, and how there's kind of overlap and those kinds of things. And so I just wanted to kind of bring this group together and review the release notes from an insurance lens specifically. So excited to have you all here today. I am fully aware that I am the probably last meeting that you have between here and Turkey starting next week or tomorrow and throughout the weekend from a holiday perspective. So I'll try and get through this as quickly as possible so that you guys can get on to your PTO and holiday family traditions. So just we'll do a quick introduction of myself for those of you who do not know me in the group. We're going to talk again about the Winter Release 2023, specifically on the insurance lens, and then I'll have just kind of general Q&A for anyone who has questions and announcements for some things coming up with the group here in the next month or so. So a big thank you to everybody always. This community group is led, you know, completely volunteer based and for you. I really want to bring what can be done within the community, what can be done with Salesforce to this insurance community. And so this is completely and 100% made possible by you. You guys have to participate. And I just love to have all of you here with me today. So thank you for taking your time, especially right before the holiday, to come out and spend some time with me and talk, geek out about all things that are Salesforce and insurance related. Just a quick introduction of myself. I am Danielle Laffey. I've been, I work at Silverline as my day job. Again, this is a volunteer opportunity for me as I lead the insurance group globally. I've been doing this for about 3.5 years. I was I was a user group leader. I have been since 2007. So I was the 5th user group globally to start in Indianapolis a while ago. And as I have kind of graduated through Salesforce and been in the ecosystem since 2004, I've really focused a lot of my efforts in the specific vertical of insurance. So it's kind of where I sit today and why I decided to kind of revive this group a few years ago. Amy from the Success team at Salesforce is here, and Rob Paul has also been a huge advocate. So thank you to all of the Salesforce folks who continue to back me up as I am presenting all of this information to the Salesforce ecosystem. I'm a Salesforce MVP. I have been for about 3 years. I'm also a marketing champion. And so we're going to have some I always have a fun, unique spin on all the items and communications that are typically fall into the marketing realm that we can share. And then I also am a Florida Dreamin' board member. So that's for those of you who don't know what Dreamin' events are. If you can't go to Dreamforce, they're community-led events, completely volunteer-based as well. And I do one here in Florida, but they are globally as well. So if you are looking for a way to get together with some of the folks in your region, I would definitely check out the Dreamin's events as well. So let's go ahead and succeed together. Just a quick little forward statement. This is all the information I'm showing you is from the Winter 23 release, but it also is based on licensing and those kinds of things. So just make sure that as we go through this, that you are aware of all of the rights that you have based on your current licensing structure, and that you're making any purchasing decisions based on what is available today. With that said, all right, we're going to go ahead and get started here. So the first item that I kind of wanted to hit on that came out of this particular presentation was around some of the sales and productivity that came out of the winter release. And the first one is dynamic forms on standard objects. So Now dynamic forms are available in the Lightning app builder for accounts, contacts, and opportunities. And with just a few clicks, you can drag and drop that functionality. Admins can customize record pages to help teams quickly access the most relevant information at the right time and place. And this allows you to kind of migrate fields and sections from your page layouts into individual components. They are easily configured on your page, and it gives you the flexibility to kind of display specific fields and sections as the user needs them. For those of you who have been in the insurance community for a while, you may have seen this on some flex cards and things in the Salesforce for insurance or industries, formerly known as Velocity. And so this is kind of another flavor of that. Not quite as powerful as the other one, and we'll talk a little bit more about that particular feature in the flex cards here coming up. But this particular one, there's just, you know, we all see the challenge of way too many fields that are on a page, and you can't find the information that you need relevant to you very quickly. And so this makes it so that it's very easy for you and or your end users to truly personalize that experience and move forward with the appropriate information that you need at the time that you are on the page and looking for it from a context perspective. So I can see a lot of use cases for this, specifically when you're looking at some of your different policyholder information, if you're a broker or an agent who's in here, also the customer service agents or claims people. You know, you want to look for really relevant information based on maybe policy information, or as you're asking questions, you can kind of take that person through a guided user experience. Next is the dynamic related list. This is a new component that when creating Lightning pages, you can now select multiple values for your pick list fields. Previously, before this enhancement, you could only filter by one pick list value, and now you have multiple ways to do that, which is pretty awesome. So this is an example if you have like open up a related list and you only want to show open opportunities to set by the end of the year. So instead it was open opportunities before, and now you can have multiple values to be able to really drill down on the specific items that you need to make your end users a little bit more productive. This was really cool feature that I really saw a lot of people being able to use, especially again, as you're trying to get a bunch of information, especially around policies, claims, et cetera, put into your policyholder 360s. This really allows for the ability to be more productive and see things very quickly at a glance, as opposed to having to dig for things. Territory assignments to leads. I have worked with a lot of insurance companies over the years, and before with the enterprise territory management, you could only do this with accounts and opportunities, and those were the only things that were allowed to be assigned directly to territories. And now this gives you the ability to do that to leads as well. So if you've got policyholders or agencies that you're looking to target to bring into your organization, and you want to put that out from a lead perspective to bring those in, you're able to do that in a multitude of ways, which really creates alignment around your sales team and your marketing teams, which is great. It helps to improve reporting and performance measures. And in the past, there's been a lot of complicated lead sharing rules in order to get this accomplished. And so this is just a new enhancement that kind of helps solve for that, which is really cool. This is huge. Moving the maps territory planning, it's a little different than the territory planning that comes out of the box. And I've implemented Salesforce maps for quite a few of our different agencies who, again, roll that out to their agent brokers who are out and about. It allows you to visualize your territories and your accounts, which is awesome. And you were originally only allowed to do this on a geography basis. And now you're able to do this not just on geography, but you can do industry, you can do verticals, you can do based on number of employees, you could do individual versus group, which is awesome. So it really allows you to define your territories at a more granular level and be able to bring things up not just on geography based, but on several different areas as well, and streamline that territory process, which then allows the visualization of that to take place with your agents, which of course they love because everybody loves to be able to visualize things and see things as opposed to having to read things. So this has definitely been a huge help to some of the insurance companies that I've worked with over the years. And it's really cool that it's now brought into the full-on territory, the territory planning. Screen flows. So with sales engagement, this was formerly known as high velocity sales. I don't know if any of you have used that or not in the past. We've put that out for a couple of insurance companies that I've worked with. That really just allows you to go quickly touch multiple people in a very quick cadence basis. Now you have the ability to specify a screen flow as that cadence setup with the cadence builder. You can use screen flows to create a case. You can create events or tasks and really perform any other action that the user would need to initiate that step within their work queue. And with this release, there's actually 3 flow templates that you can use for creating cases, events, and tasks. And so just want to do a quick note on this one. Again, I put that forward note, that forward statement earlier. This is only currently available in the unlimited edition. So they've just bundled the sales engagement with the unlimited edition a few months back. So this is only available in that particular component or piece of licensing that's available to you. So if you have questions, I'm sure that you can reach out to customer success and they would be happy to help you get this if you do not already have that. This is also really cool. So down here at the bottom, you can see there's kind of that to-do list that's there. They have a unified task management tool now that lives on the utility bar. This was also something that was available at one point within the Velocity organization first. And so they're bringing some of, they're marrying these two together, which I just, having been in 2 of them for a while, I just love it. This is the utility at the bottom of your instance. You can manage all of your tasks there in one single view. You are able to view everything in one place. You can prioritize your day as an agent or a claims person. Maybe you're in the underwriting queue and trying to get that information put out. So it allows you to prioritize your day, quickly viewing the most relevant tasks to you and taking action on them with the right information at hand. So this doc continually stays at the bottom of your page, no matter what you're doing in your org. And its aim is really to make your agents and customer service reps, underwriting, claims, et cetera, just more productive in general. Okay, I think that's it from a sales perspective that I found that was super relevant to the insurance specific information. So next, let's kind of dive into service really quick. One of these is the Einstein article recommendations. So this helps supports your support agents kind of resolve the customer cases faster and more efficiently by recommending the knowledge articles based on the model that you define, which is really big. So this feature is included in the Enterprise, Performance, and Unlimited editions, and it helps agents by suggesting relevant replies during a chat session. So as people are kind of coming in those high volume service centers, if you're trying to reply, and work, especially in chat when you've got multiple chats open all at once, this kind of helps those people become more productive and efficient in that realm. And so reply recommendations is part of the Sales Cloud Einstein product only. So you might have this, might be an add-on here. So these 2 features have been around for a little bit, but within the new Winter 23 release, they launched the dashboards to help track a little bit of this information. So they launched the dashboards to track the values of the features, helping your agents understand how to interact with the recommendations provided by Einstein. And again, that model that you've defined. And if the recommendations are being used and it's visualized in some sort of KPIs around the most recommended articles, estimated ROI that comes those, or just kind of the overall recommendation performance. So if you're using case management with your customers and you're using knowledge articles internally, definitely recommend looking into the Einstein articles recommendation, as this is part of what you pay for. And it's an awesome, helpful tool for all of your customer service agents as they're helping some of those policyholders or agents that are brokers that are calling in and needing help. Omni-channel flows. So obviously there's a lot of cases that come in, and this is really helpful for that email to case. So this change applies to all editions, and obviously pretty much every community that I put out there, whether it goes to the policyholder community or it goes to an agent or agency brokerage community from a partner perspective, we've enabled email to case in pretty much every insurance instance that I've worked with to date. And so this really helps with that classification and routing. When a case is created from an email to case or any incoming email, the omnichannel flow can kind of determine which queue this goes to make sure that that information goes to the appropriate person as quickly as possible. And they also have the ability with the Einstein case classification. It automates filling out some of the fields on that case record, which again increases productivity and just being able to turn those cases out a little bit faster. You can also use this with the Einstein article recommendation to send out the related knowledge articles as those things are coming in too. Awesome. Okay, and I didn't necessarily, I know some people are using Amazon Connect and some are not. And so this is, again, just a new feature around the Amazon Connect for outbound campaigns. This means that you can contact hundreds to millions of customers daily with the outbound predictive dialing. Again, I've only run into Amazon Connect in the insurance space since I've been working in it for several years, a few times. I know that there's some other tools that are being worked out here, but this is a really cool feature for those people who are using Amazon Connect. All right. And then from a platform perspective, this was really cool. For those of you who have been on the ID Exchange and recently, this had 82,000 votes, which I thought was a really cool statistic that finally got put into place. And so this is the ability to create custom address fields that mimic the behavior of the standard address fields. I don't know if you guys have created custom objects and things and how to put address fields in along with it, but I'll tell you, it's mapping things from one object to another in the insurance world has been incredibly hard. So this is an enhancement that improves the end user experience and also helps with data accuracy and addressing the data accuracy issues that you might be having and not having the data match up from a standard address field to some of those custom ones that you guys are creating. So teams like the sales op or perhaps the IT organizations itself will reap from these benefits due to the improved data consistency, accuracy, and management that this particular enhancement provides. There are some requirements and limitations, so just make sure that you look at those on help.salesforce.com in order to check that out. But this was something that I know that I've worked with a couple of insurance companies to put custom address fields in, and it really has created some havoc when it comes to trying to marry those data sources together and make sure that everything sits appropriately. So thank you for getting this idea exchange upvoted and in. Again, this is, as we're sitting here as a community, it's really cool if you guys go out to the idea exchange. You guys don't do that on a regular basis. Go and vote those things up because they truly do look at those and then incorporate those into the roadmap and then finally into future releases. So Salesforce is listening and we appreciate it. I'm going to skip the DevOps Center and the sandbox information here. This is a little bit more for the IT background, but I am going to post this information out there, so you are welcome to check this info out. And wanted to skip straight up into kind of the Flow Builder enhancements. For those of you who have not used Flow, start using Flow. Start using Flow. Start using Flow. I actually sat in with a couple of the execs listening sessions, and throughout the year, I was at one at Connections, one at Dreamforce with Sarah Franklin, and it has been promoted over and over and over again that flow is the future of Salesforce. And so if you've not started using flow, please make sure that you do, because I think that it's just going to be really important as the platform continues to progress to know and understand this. So there's a couple of different items here. You've got new automated testing that automatically debugs your flows, which is really cool. I, being somebody who am not a flow guru like some of the other folks that are out there, this is something that I'm really excited about using in this particular feature. You've got custom paste elements, so you can change the order of the flow and the layout faster by using those cut and paste. Previously, to move an element on the canvas, you had to copy and paste it and then delete the original one. And then you had to update the API names, etc. So this kind of helps with all of that. And then you've got generate the flow choice options from the external data source. So if business processes interacts with external data, and this is obviously really big for all of our insurance providers, whether you're a carrier or you're an agency broker, there's multiple systems that are going in and interfacing with your Salesforce. And so the ability for you to be able to reach out to those external data sources and connect them onto your flow screens is huge. So loved this feature and was excited to see this coming in here, especially for our insurance people who have a ton of external data that's coming in from potentially legacy systems, claims systems, policyholder systems, or agent management systems as they're kind of bringing all that information together. There is a new search capability, so find flow elements faster with search. This is a dialogue, an added elements dialog box in the flow canvas that now allows, that includes the search functionality. You can also launch the screen flows with the Lightning Web Components, which is really cool. So you can embed a screen flow from any Lightning Web component with a new Lightning Flow component. Developers can supercharge their flows by customizing the finish behavior, set custom styling, or launching flows from their Lightning Web components. And they can also offload the complex input collections and branching logic to flows, obviously saving a lot of time and therefore money for that. And then enjoying more room. So we all want something to be able to work bigger. I don't know about you, but I've got monitors like out to here these days. So they've allowed for a larger screen for the flow editor. That's kind of bringing in for that standard Lightning design system. So now there's more room for you to be able to kind of see what you're doing, which is a great feature as well. And there is, again, I'm going to share out some of this information. There is some help documentation around the Automate Flow Builder that you'll be able to click on here and see that information too. All right, success, skilling, and enablement. So obviously our customer success team has been fantastic. They've got coaching information available. So if you're not working with that, please make sure that you reach out to your customer success people. They're here based on you purchasing your licensing. So definitely make sure that you're reaching out to them on that. Just a little quick, yay, Amy. Yes, they're awesome. They're awesome. And I don't think that people use them as much as they should. So definitely reach out to them for that information. Here's a couple of things that I thought were really cool. So in the learning paths, that's the help panel, that learning path help panel is now considered the guidance center panel. And so this is an updated panel that provides more curated suggestions from Salesforce and that the Salesforce success team, while still prioritizing the custom learning content that you've been assigned in learning paths if you're using all of that. So users can find help to get started. They can get back on track when they get stuck, and they get the value from the workspace solutions faster. So definitely check out and combine the out-of-the-box Salesforce guidance with your own engaging custom content that you're creating for your users to kind of help make that go a little bit better. And then finally, this last one, which I thought was really cool, was the in-app guidance experience. I just loved this. So there's more granular elements that are targeted using targeted prompts for the in-guidance app. So now you can target, there's a list of these. So I'm going to actually just read them off to you. So there's the list view drop-down menu, pins, buttons, et cetera, that are in the header. The app name, the app launcher, items in the navigation bar, including items in the drop-down menu, which is really cool. There's record tabs and sub-tabs. There's record highlight panel components and buttons. And so in order to draw more attention to these components being highlighted, you can use these targeted prompts that now come with a gray background. You can see here that that's happening in the demo that we've got kind of showing right here. So you can control what the user notices and help them to easily find that information. And then all the targeted prompts, including the targeted prompts created before Winter 23. So everything now have a gray backdrop, and you can click outside of that to remove that backdrop, but it really just makes it so that it's, that it's really easy to guide people through what you're trying to get them to do here. So that's kind of all of the pre-FSC, pre-Salesforce for insurance type items. And so now I'm going to dig into a couple of the FSC specific ones. So Financial Services Cloud for, and if you guys don't have this already, make sure that you sign up for it. But we've got a couple of things here. So tear sheets or summary documents, just kind of depending on what people are calling it. I've heard it referred to in a couple of different ways, but this is enabling your users to quickly and easily prepare for client, policyholder, agency meetings. A lot of these were I see in the insurance community, they're using this if you're sitting at the carrier side to be able to prepare to talk with agencies. And then obviously the agents and brokers have the ability to do this for policyholders. And this provides with a comprehensive summary of your client profiles, maybe some financial details, other relevant information that would be included in whatever meeting you're going to have. And so you can quickly generate this quote unquote tear sheet or summary document that contains information from multiple objects if you want, which is cool. And then it attaches that document to a record page where the component is added. And this is using the JocGen feature that obviously all of the people in the insurance world know and understand how important all of our documents are to us as we're collating all of that information and making sure that we're hitting compliance guidelines for all that document. And so this is bringing into and really leveraging that JocGen tool that Salesforce has created and pulling all that information together. And this is server side, which obviously makes that go super quick as well. So you can create your own Omni scripts for those of you who are using the Omni Studio to generate these particular documents. And there's several formats that you can see this in. Most of the time people are doing it in PDF. I would say 90% of the time they have that, but you also can create Word docs and you can create PowerPoint templates, which is really cool. And so several formats that you can generate those particular documents in. And you also have the ability when you show that info out, it can be in multiple. So I can create a PDF and a doc and be able to download those very easily that are attached to the record after you've kind of gone through that OmniScript capability. So I loved this and was excited to see this come into play here in this particular release. Anyone who's in the insurance vertical knows and understands that the actionable relationship center, and really working through those kind of really complex relationships when it comes to your policyholders, especially if they're in the business setting from a B2B perspective, or if you're working through agent and agencies, especially if you have non-captive agents who might be associated to multiple of those. This really allows you to be able to kind of bring that information visually into one area so you can really see and understand what all those particular relationships are. And with this particular release, they actually have two out of the box graph templates that you can start with. One is B2B and one is B2C, which really allows admins to deploy that enhanced relationship visualization faster than what we were doing before. This is a huge problem that I've found that Salesforce solves for in being able to visualize those hierarchies in relationships when it comes to agents, agencies, captive, non-captive, and then also all of your policyholders and businesses, and kind of how all of those people interact with each other overall. So again, this was a really cool component. Another item that I just kind of wanted to put on here is an add-on license. They have you can uncover hidden insights is what they say, by using the Einstein relationship insights. Again, I'd mentioned that was an add-on license, but that's an integration that allows for any key data that's maybe not kept in the CRM portion and be able to pull all of that in. So wanted to kind of call that out as well, that you can not just use actionable data that's within Salesforce proper, but you can be bringing in, as I mentioned before, in the insurance world, there's likely multiple systems that all your data is coming from, so you can pull that information in very easily for that. Slack for financial services. All right, so I'm not gonna lie, when Slack came out, Dreamforce of not last year but the year before, I was kind of struggling of like how we were going to be able to really leverage Slack within the insurance vertical. And after, I've seen a couple of really cool instances where people are using it, and this is even cooler, I think. So this is the ability for you to really accelerate your decisions from anywhere using that Slack app for Financial Services Cloud. And so you can quickly get insights into Financial Services Cloud in the appropriate context by creating Slack channels for households and then being able to push that out. Originally, you could only do that within Slack. Now you can also do that within Salesforce as well. And then you can bring those people into Slack channels, manage them, be able to create action plans for them, assign action plan items to them. And it really helps as they're going through that. It updates records and record statuses in Slack. So I really thought this was a cool feature that from a householding perspective, or and when we say household, it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be a specific house, but it could be from your B2B perspectives as well, and agents and agency management, a really cool tool for you guys to be able to, or use case to solve for using Slack in insurance. All right, and now we're getting into the meat of some of the cool things that we've got going on with the insurance specific items. And so there's a couple of them that we want to call out. Again, commercial lines, you've got your OmniScript components and services for multiple levels of product structures. We actually we're implementing, I'm currently implementing for an insurance carrier right now, and waited specifically for this feature to come out before we started putting together some of their commercial lines of business, because they've got so many hierarchies and multiple levels of products that kind of roll up. And so this is a really cool feature. We were going to have to do this custom before, and because we waited for this release, we were able to use this out of the box structure. And it really accelerated the ability for our team to provide this faster to the client. And it also makes it so that the ongoing support for that will be easier as well. From a policy admin perspective, I can't tell you how many insurance carriers ask me, can you even really do policy admin very well in Salesforce? The answer is absolutely yes. And there's different flows or flavors of how you might do your policy administration within here. But you can do full end-to-end policy admin. And so there's some enhancements around cancellations, reinstatements, and policy transactions that came out from this particular release, which kind of help bring that policy admin along, which is really cool. There's the Insurance Policy 360. As I'd mentioned, we've got policy holders. You might have B2B or B2C information here. And so there's new FlexCard-based components here. For those of you who are not familiar with FlexCards is really almost like a UI that can be built and give specific context. We've used it in a lot of use cases where maybe you're trying to lock down specific security around or specific information around an area that wasn't able to be easily done in regular security perspectives. And so this allows you for the ability to show only what that particular person should see at that particular moment based on the context of where they are within a business process or within a page. So we've done this a lot on communities and things as you're trying to open up and lock down things for policyholders or agents as they're coming in. And we've used a lot of FlexCards and FlexCards, which in FlexCards, mind blown that you can do that. And so that's a cool feature that also came out. For those of you who might be using group services or censuses, there is a new improved sentence LWC that's out, which is really neat. And then from a claims management perspective, there's some new roles and some core data models that are out as well. I'm going to dive into a couple of these items. I don't have slides for every one of them, but I do have them for a couple. And so I'm going to dig into that new FlexCard-based policy 360 component, which is really cool. So I mentioned before, we use flex cards all over the place within when we're building out Salesforce for insurance, whether that be internally via an OmniScript that you're using or a guided flow. We expose that information out on partner and customer communities. And it just really allows for you to have contextualized information very quickly at a glance. Maybe you just have specific policy information that you're bringing out. I've recently ran into a use case where there are more than one policy holders or beneficiaries that would be located on a policy that's not available necessarily out of the box with Salesforce. And so we configured that using custom flex cards in order to be able to take that information from a policy perspective and show that to the appropriate policyholders so they could see all their policy information. And just it made it so that the security worked and everything was kind of locked down. So we made sure that everyone was able to only see their appropriate information. So this supports custom field and action configurations based on policy types. There's enhanced service capabilities based on the insured item or the policy number, which are two really huge things that our policyholder customer reps are always looking for, or agents are looking for when they're trying to help individuals fix that information. It can show all policies associated with an individual, irrespective of their role, such as a policyholder or a beneficiary. Again, as I mentioned before, in the use case that we just solved for, and having multiple policyholders or primary policyholders, and kind of fixing that information so that you could see that. And this supports a high volume, so anywhere between 50 and 500 policies per account or household, which is really cool. So it really allows for not just helping with communities or guided user experiences, but also in that policy administration and trying to be flexible again in the way that you guys are servicing your customers and being able to sell your policies in a specific, unique way. Salesforce has a kind of standardized way of doing that, but every insurance company is a little bit different in the way that they do their policies and policy management and what rules that they allow and don't allow for based on compliance on states and those kinds of things, or even countries to that matter. So this was a really cool feature. If you've not looked at flex cards before, I mentioned that kind of that dynamic forms that we had before, that's available based on fields. This is a little bit more powerful of a tool than that. So you can bring flex cards within the flex cards. It's also really neat that you can create a flex card and then use it in multiple areas. So you can save that and bring it in and expose that in other areas. And again, it's based on keys. So depending on the data and context that you're in, whether you be in a guided flow or in a community or on just a standard page layout within Salesforce, you can see that information very quickly and clearly, and saves time because you're able to reuse things over and over again, which I love. Everybody loves saving time, right? And then finally, coming down to claims. So this particular item here is role-based actions. So this helps claims adjusters focus on what's important for each party or parties involved within a particular claim. It shows unique fields based on actions for whatever that participant in that claim is. It could be, as an example, from an auto perspective, it could be drivers, passengers, repair shops, other participant roles that are out there, depending on what line of business that you guys are from an insurance perspective. You can kind of set these up for the uniqueness of the line of businesses that you guys are doing from an insurance perspective. They have configurable values that can be added to pick lists. So that if you are a claims participant, so based on their role, you might have first party participant pick list information versus vendors. So again, this is just really cool a functionality that, again, allows for a unique user experience to make that guided flow and user experience a little bit better. So that's kind of what I found from the 744 pages, I think, of release notes that's out there. Again, a huge shout out to Amy and Rob and the rest of the team for allowing me to steal this deck from them and kind of give my spin from an insurance perspective on that flavor. There are some resources and to learn and implement this, and so kind of go through those really quick. Obviously, you've got your release notes. I don't know who has time to go through 744 pages of those, but they all are there, and they're also very searchable as well. So I think a lot of people get very nervous about that and don't go in and search for them, but make sure you search for them. There's some demo videos too. And so I want to make sure that when I take this out, they did quite a few demos for each of the individual components that we didn't go through here. They're quick snippets. They're like maybe 30 seconds to 2 minutes, depending on what the topic is. And so I definitely will go and check those out. Salesforce has done those and provided those for the crew. They have the release highlights trail, which is out there on Trailhead. Go get yourself another badge and make sure that you go through that. Again, additional details in those release notes that we talked about. And then if you are not already a community group participant in it, they have the release readiness community group out there to go and do that too. So that's kind of all I have for today on that. Are there any questions, comments? Did you learn anything new today at this point in time? From where we are, I'd love to take any information otherwise. Going once, going twice. Oh, I've got a chat. Grab that one out really quick. Oh, thanks, Amy.
Yeah, I mean, this is Tracy. Thank you. It was very informative to have it all from I saw the business notes before, but seeing it from the insurance perspective really helped frame it. So I really appreciate your take on it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I will share this information out. As I promised before, just kind of a little bit of upcoming items that are coming up. For those of you who are going to be in New York for World Tour, I would love to we are doing a meetup. I'm going to do a meetup. So anyone who is in that area, if you know anyone, we are going to do a meetup at the Javits Center. Right now it's set for 3 o'clock. Salesforce has not put all of their times out. So I want to make sure that I'm not overlapping with a general session, which I don't believe that I am. But if I end up when they put the times out for World Tour, then I'll move that a little bit. But we're going to meet on the 3rd floor of the Javits Center in front of the Starbucks. So please, if you or anyone that you know is going to be at World Tour, it's a free event. Again, and you can come and network with people. And I would love to buy you a coffee and just say hello and allow people to network with each other. I also have an insurance summit coming up that I'm going to be posting out for people who are interested in learning more about trends. I've actually teamed up with Tom King, who is one of the Salesforce for Insurance experts. And he and I are going to be doing a quick hour online information around that. And so I'll make sure that that information gets out to you as well. I would love to do towards the end of the year a holiday party for us. We've done this in the past, again, just trying to get people together to network. And when I was at Dreamforce and we had about 50 people in the insurance community who all came together, and they said the most important thing was be able to network with other people within the industry itself and know and understand how they're solving these problems. And that's what I'm here for, is to really bring you all together and make sure that you have that. So be on the lookout for that. That'll be coming off towards the end of the year around the holidays. And then finally, as we are planning our 2023 kind of meeting cadence for next year, if there's any particular items that you guys would like to hear about, please, 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 please email me, give me a tweet, go out onto the chatter, the community group, and please put information in there. I have a lot of people who I can get information from, and just want to make sure that I'm giving you the content that you guys are looking for. So please let me know if there's particular topics that you would like to hear about, because again, I'm here for you and doing this for you all. And I'll probably launch a survey out in January so that you guys can kind of tell that as well. And finally, last but not least, if you are interested in showing some cool thing that you guys have done within your own insurance instance, I would love to have speakers. I don't always want to sit and speak. So if you have any interest in showing anything, I would love for you guys to speak. And so raise your hand and reach out and let me know if you guys have anything that you guys would like to share. Nikki, so you said, sorry if I missed this answer, but is there an additional cost for the new flex cards? Definitely make sure that you check with the AE, but it's my understanding that depending on your license level, that if you have FSC, that those flex cards should be now part of that FSC license. But again, please make sure that you check with your AE on that one or your customer success manager on that one, because I don't want to misspeak. But it's my understanding that if you have FSC, that you should have access to some of those features. Awesome. All right, well, I'm going to give you guys 10 minutes back. I hope that you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and really, I'm just thankful for you all. So thanks for everything. I appreciate you all being here, and we will talk soon. Mahalo, everyone.